All right, today we are diving into one of the wildest insurance fraud cases I've ever heard of. Yeah, you heard that right. The bear suit scam. So get this. This is a story about a bear. Well, kind of a bear. 3 super expensive luxury cars and 1 absolutely massive lie. It's an insurance fraud tale with a twist that sounds like it came straight out of a movie. So, where do you even start with a story like this? Well, it all kicks off with a really strange claim about a very expensive car. I mean, can you imagine being the insurance agent who gets this question? What happens when a bear attacks a Rolls-Royce? That's not exactly something they cover in the training manual, right? It's just so out there.
Okay, so let's set the scene. It's January 28, 2024. A claim pops up for damage to a 2010 Rolls-Royce Ghost, and the cause? A bear attack. I mean, right away, you just know this one's gonna raise some eyebrows.
And look, the people who filed the claim didn't just write it on a napkin. They came with what they thought was proof. They had security camera footage of this bear actually inside the car, plus pictures of scratch marks on the doors and seats. And it all supposedly happened in Lake Arrowhead, California, a place where, seeing a bear isn't totally crazy. But even with all this evidence, the whole story just felt a bit off, A little too wild to be true. And that's exactly when the red flags started popping up all over the place. So, yeah, no surprise here. The insurance company flagged it as suspicious. I mean, come on, a bear trashing a Rolls-Royce? It just didn't pass the smell test, and that was more than enough to kick off a major investigation. And the investigators, well, they struck gold almost immediately. Turns out this wasn't just a one-off. They found 2 more bear attack claims from the very same day at the very same location. What are the odds of that happening for real? Pretty much 0. And get this, we're not talking about a couple of beat-up sedans. The other cars were a 2015 Mercedes G-Wagon and a 2022 Mercedes E-Class. So now you've got this one bear, apparently with very expensive taste, hitting 3 luxury cars in one night. Yeah, a pattern was definitely starting to emerge. Okay, so with 3 of these fishy claims on their hands, the investigators knew something big was going on. It was time to unmask the bear. And you know where the key to this whole thing was? In the very evidence the suspects handed over. The investigators went right back to that security footage, but this time they were watching it very closely. But was it really a bear? As they watched the footage, they saw this creature moving around, but something was off. The way it moved, its posture, it just didn't seem like a real animal. So they did the smart thing. They called in an expert, a biologist from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. And this biologist took one look and knew exactly what was going on. The official conclusion was, and you gotta love this quote, that the bear was clearly a human in a bear suit. Busted. And if there was any lingering doubt, it just completely evaporated when police searched the suspect's house. Because what do you think they found tucked away? Yep, the bear suit. The literal smoking gun, or I guess the smoking fur, of the whole operation. Once they had the costume, it was game over. The entire scam just completely unraveled. So let's just run through the timeline real quick. The fake claims were filed back in January 2024. By November of that same year, boom, 4 people are arrested. Fast forward to April 2026, and 3 of them are already sentenced. A 4th person, well, their day in court is coming up in September. And these weren't just slap-on-the-wrist charges either. We're talking serious felonies, insurance fraud, and conspiracy. So you might be wondering, what's the price of fraud this fuzzy? A scam this bizarre wasn't for chump change. Let's talk numbers. Get this, $142,000. That's the total amount they were trying to squeeze out of the insurance companies. This was no joke. It was a serious, high-stakes play for a big payday. And here's what happened when they got caught. 3 of the people involved, Alfia Zuckerman, Ruben Tamrazian, and Vahe Moradkanyan, each got 180 days in jail. And on top of that, they have to pay back a ton of money. We're talking over 50 grand each for 2 of them. And remember, the story's not totally over. That 4th defendant, Ararat Shirkinian, is still waiting for his trial to start. It's easy to laugh at a story like this, but this quote from the insurance commissioner really hits home why it's a big deal. He said, insurance fraud is a serious crime that drives up costs for consumers. And that's the bottom line, right? When people pull stunts like this, it's not a victimless crime. It's the reason our insurance premiums go up. So even a goofy bear suit scam ends up costing everybody. So that's the story of the bear suit scam.
It just goes to show you how far people will go. Which really gets you thinking, a guy in a bear suit attacking luxury cars is pretty creative, you have to admit. What's the wildest scam you've ever come across?